Class of 2020. My name is Josiah Stumbo, and I'm the pastor for teenagers at the Olmsted Falls campus of Grace Church, and it is truly an honor to speak to you this year. You who have endured one of the most anticlimactic moments I've ever even heard of. After putting in 13 years of dedicated hard work, you all went to school one day and then just stopped going to school, and now you're done. It's been a painful story for a lot of you, but it does not in any way diminish the significance of your accomplishments. A few weeks ago, we celebrated the birthday of my son. It was his 6th birthday, and since we couldn't have a big party and everything, I wanted to make it fun by taking one of his presents, putting it in a metal box, and burying it in the woods. And then I drew out a treasure map with a star that said, "You are here," and another star that said, "The treasure is here," and some landmarks and a trail to guide him along the way. Well, my map wasn't very clear because I'm a terrible drawer, and the field we were in was about 35 acres, and so I made sure that I was walking alongside of him the whole way so that he got to the place where he needed to be. And it turned out to be one of my favorite dad moments yet, when he found that X in the ground that marked the spot and a shovel resting on a rock nearby. His eyes were wild with adventure. We dug and our shovel hit metal. "What is it? What is it?" he yelled as he brushed the dirt away and opened the box to open his present. But imagine for a second what a jerk dad I would have been if I would have buried that gift somewhere on that 35-acre property and then just told him to go find it. Like, good luck. He'd still be looking. That's terrible. I would never do anything like that. A map is a really helpful thing. As a pastor, I have a deeply rewarding job of helping people ask questions. Questions like, why am I me? And why am I here? And why is all this here? And where is all this going? And what is death? What is life? And what I really don't want is for you to graduate high school and get pushed out onto this 123 billion acre earth without a map. Like a map to the meaning of life. I don't want you wandering aimlessly when a map actually exists. So I want to spend a few minutes helping you graduates orient yourselves to this map, to the story of the universe, and to find the star that says you are here, and to find the other star that says the treasure is here. Thankfully, I'm not the one who drew this map. I got it from this book. But before I show you where you are on the map, we have to establish some landmarks. So it's going to be helpful to start the story from the beginning of the universe. I could see myself taking too much of your time telling you the history of the universe, so how about some bullet points? Check with me or look for yourself into the map if you got any questions about any of them. Here it goes. Before the beginning, God existed in the form of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. In the beginning, God burst out in creative inspiration, creating all of the beauty of the universe to express His perfect love and share it with others, with humans. For a brief moment, God, humans, and the universe lived in perfect harmony, marked by limitless love and joy and peace. God, who is love, was king, and everything was perfect. Don't you wish I could stop here and say, this is where it says on the map, you are here? Unfortunately, there's more to the story. Since love can't be forced, humans had the choice to either love God the way He loved them or not. Well, they chose not, and stuff broke. In place of harmony, everyone started singing out of tune. Things that were designed to work together in perfect harmony began rubbing against each other and bumping into each other and causing tension and ultimately pain and chaos. People who were created for love became selfish and ultimately hateful. The whole earth got out of sync, and what was once perfect was now damaged, fundamentally changed. And death entered the story for the first time, becoming the fate of every living thing as we know. But God didn't change. He remained perfect. And perfection by nature, though, can't embrace imperfection or it would no longer be perfect. Right? But he also couldn't just pretend that things weren't broken. Being the definition of love itself, he couldn't just back out and let it all continue to deteriorate either. So what would he do? Would he put it all out of its misery and destroy it all and bring it back to his pre-creation perfect existence? You'd think he might. But even though the people he made stopped loving him, he never stopped loving them because that's who he is. Because he cares. There's still a problem. Humans can't go back and undo the damage. There's no way to go back and make everything right enough to live in perfection with God again. So God and people are separated. There's nothing we can do about it. Now you might think I'm stopping here and I'm going to say that the map says you are here and it's all hopeless and things will never be right again. Thankfully, thank God, there's more to the story. What happens next is mind-blowing. God did what no one would expect a God to ever do. Instead of destroying the world to fix everything, he entered the world to redeem it. God the Son, Jesus, became human and entered into his own creation. He started a revolution. He called it the kingdom of heaven, and he showed humanity a brand new way to live. You can read all about that in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in this book. He walked this earth claiming that he had a way for us to live the fullest kind of life, that kind of life that we were created originally to have in perfect harmony with everything. And he claimed that we could live that kind of life forever. And he said that he himself was both the map and the trail guide to help us find that treasure, that perfect eternal existence. How would he do it? In an act of self-sacrificial love that we will never fully understand. He, in his powerful humility, chose to suffer all the consequences of our imperfect injustices himself. He allowed himself to be convicted, tried, and executed for the stuff we'd done, even though he was still perfectly innocent, because he's love. And then he died, and he buried all the consequences of our imperfections in the grave with his body. And in so doing, he killed death itself. Because then he rose up out of the grave and bridged the gap between humans and God. And now, once again, humans have a choice to love God or not. Those who choose to love him by following Jesus, who is alive and well in heaven today, will be united to God in perfect love forever. And thus the revolution that Jesus began took hold. The kingdom of heaven that he was always teaching began to spread as people began to follow Jesus. us, to listen to his words, to be compelled by his love, to fight for justice the way he does, and to begin to find harmony once again. And I'm glad to say that this is the point on the map that says you are here. 2020, this is where we are in the story of the universe. A place where people are once again choosing to love God or not. Where those who choose to follow Jesus are signing up for a revolution of love and harmony that reunites people to God and God to people and people to themselves and people to each other. In the book of John, chapter 14, Jesus talks about where the treasure is. This place of perfect harmony with God the Father, where all is made right. I want you to listen to this interaction and listen as the disciples ask Jesus, where is the treasure and how do we get there? This is what Jesus says. He says, my Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going. And Thomas is like, no, we don't. In verse 5, Thomas says, Lord, we don't know where you're going, so how can we know the way? Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So how do we get to the treasure? Follow Jesus and he will personally escort us. In fact, he is the trail, the map, and the guide. Follow Jesus and you will find treasure. You will find eternal, abundant life. So as you step out into this billion-acre world, take your map with you because it's a big place. Follow Jesus because he's still building a kingdom. It's not like any earthly nation. This kingdom is another dimension. It's far more significant even. It's the place where God is king. And remember what that place looks like where God is king? Perfection, harmony, love. I want you to know that this message isn't just like a spiritual story. It's incredibly practical. Because the kind of kingdom that Jesus is establishing needs excellent people in every field. So class of 2020, Jesus wants to involve you. He wants his abundant life spreading through every sector of society. He'll take this amazing accomplishment of graduation and make it even more significant on another whole dimension. Follow him and he'll lead you where he designed you to work, live, and be. Follow him and he'll lead some of you into the medical field, providing healing for the sick. He'll lead some of you into law and government, providing justice. He'll lead some of you into the arts, expressing his creativity, his beauty, his rich meaningfulness. He'll lead some of you into education, sowing hope into the future of our world. He'll lead some of you into infrastructure and labor and business and science and technology and whatever else he has uniquely designed you to put your hands to, and he'll help you do whatever you do and flourish while you do it. Because this kingdom he's building was his idea in the first place, and he made you, he designed you to flourish in it and to contribute to it. So class of 2020, you are in the middle of a deeply meaningful cosmic story. And your contributions to establishing the kingdom of heaven on earth, to join the revolution that Jesus started and bringing love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control to this earth will be the most abundant life you can imagine. So whatever you do it with all your heart and all to the glory of God. If you want to talk to me about any of this stuff, I'm more than happy to do that. You can find my contact info at gracecma.org. Class of 2020, I bless you. I believe in you. And I'm so excited to follow Jesus towards that treasure with you. Thank you.